some ugly-ass NFL uniforms. Let's just be flat out honest. There's some ugly uniforms in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers throwback uniforms, terrible. The Chicago Bears uniforms, terrible. The San Francisco 49ers, terrible. They're just blah. The Las Vegas Raiders jerseys are just blah. But guys, some of the worst NFL jerseys out there by far are the Pittsburgh Steelers Bumblebee jerseys. If you guys can see here on the screen, it is black and yellow stripes, like a referee. It is like, these are the ugliest things ever to graze my eyeballs. First of all, the pants are like this off-colored brown, this poop-colored brown when you haven't had enough fiber in your life. They wear these striped socks with these striped uniforms with the black helmets. Like, stop it. Guys, sometimes in the NFL, just the jerseys that you have are good. Pittsburgh Steelers, just the plain black jerseys are pretty nice. Dallas Cowboys plain whites are pretty nice. Miami Dolphins plain whites are pretty nice. Guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers uniforms are by far the worst uniforms ever. They're alternate Bumblebee uniforms back to like 1940s or whatever the hell. They're ugly. If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, if you guys love the alternate uniforms, stop it. Vote this down. The Pittsburgh Steelers are leaving this out to the open. You're saying, hey, we can vote for this uniform. If you guys want to vote for it. But it's ugly. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go! What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Blackcasher here with the Man Hour Show, manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page, of course. Check out the blogs in it as well, guys. But most importantly, share this live stream. Whatever platform you're listening to us on, whether it's on Big X Sports Radio, whether it's the Believe Sports Network, whether at youtube.com/Man Hour and facebook.com/Man Hour, guys, hit that share button. Share us with a couple friends. Share us on X, share us on Facebook, share us on Snapchat. Hell, share us via text messages. It doesn't matter, guys, but sharing is caring at the end of the day, and everybody needs to love everybody in this time that we are in. E-L-E. But guys, it is Monday, March 31st, 2025, and Man Hour is live, raw, and uncut every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. And today, we already got this Mike Moan in the chat. Mike, go jack off in your corner there, big guy. Go over there and use your tears, jack off, get some nice little lubricant going there, buddy, because another idiot on the internet, another keyboard warrior here from Mike. So what's up, Mike? Glad you're here today. But guys, we're going to talk about Tyreek Hill. We're going to talk about him potentially getting traded or not. He has nixed it, but we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to talk about Geno Smith's new contract in Vegas. Let's slow it down, baby. And then Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf playing catch at UCLA. Does this mean Aaron Rodgers is coming to Pittsburgh? Who knows? And Mike Tomlin has come out and said he is comfortable with Mason Rudolph being the starter in Pittsburgh, but is he really being serious? I don't know. Then Tush Push is out. We got buy or sell on this beautiful Monday. And then, of course, we got a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. We got all that, guys, and much, much more, guys. It's a live interactive show. So if you guys want to talk your shit, get down in the comments below. And I do see each and every comment, just like I saw Mike's little comment here. Another idiot on the internet. Another keyboard warrior from my man, Mike. But hey, Mike, you ran like a little baby back bitch that you are. It's not my fault. It is your fault. You want to come in here and talk shit? Come here and talk shit, man. You do what you got to do. But we got to welcome some people in the chat. We got to welcome the Old Man River into the chat. Old Man River is a pigskin pundit.
Pigskin ton. Get you some.
Old Man River says, what up, Buck? What up, what up? What is up, Old Man River? And he says Kirk Cousins will be in Pittsburgh. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down, Old Man River, because you are going way, way ahead. But hey, if Kirk Cousins ends up anywhere, it should be Pittsburgh. Let's just be flat honest, or back out in Minnesota. So we got Rose over there says we need to be friends. That's kind of weird. And then Alpha Rob says those look like the wrestler Killer Bees. Like, guys, is this not the worst jerseys you've ever seen in your entire life? Is this not the worst NFL jersey you've seen your entire life? Like, think about this. The Green Bay Packers one were pretty freaking ugly, right? They had those beige pants. Those just must have been like the NFL norm back then. But these jerseys are terrible. They're terrible. They are terrible, terrible, terrible. And I couldn't imagine like suiting up and wearing those. Like that would not get me excited at all. So Eat Me says, nah, that's Rodgers. Rodgers being in Pittsburgh. Eat me. I don't know, baby. We'll talk about it. But guys, we got to talk about the man, the myth, the legend first. We got to start off today's show with the man, the myth, the legend. That is Tyreek freaking Hill, guys. Tyreek Hill, guys, has kind of been the center of trade rumors for the last, I don't know, since before the Super Bowl. Ever since he had his moments in New York and MetLife Stadium when the Jets beat the Miami Dolphins. Like, I want out of here. Peace out. Like, it is hard to be happy with, like, when you're not winning. I'm paraphrasing, kind of putting my words into his, into his words there. But long story short, Tyreek Hill wanted out. And now he kind of nixed that. Now he's kind of come back, and the rumors are starting to flying around again. And rumors are trying to float around. I'm just saying they're trying to float around that Tyreek Hill wants out of Miami. Now, he has been seen, giving peace signs like, hey, to Miami, right? But there was a article by NFL Rumors over there on the old Twitter machine saying that Tyreek Hill is open to receiving a trade-in. He would gladly accept the trade, and Tyreek Hill quickly shut that down on X today. And he said that he is happy in Miami and he doesn't want to get traded. But guys, we got to talk about this. What if Miami was to trade Tyreek Hill? What if Tyreek Hill really wanted out? What if Mike McDaniels wanted to trade Tyreek Hill to a team right there? What team would be a great suitor? What team would get out there and really be a great fit for Tyreek Hill? Guys, let's not get it twisted. There is no question that Tyreek Hill was a top receiver in the NFL. He had 6 seasons over 1,000 yards, including 4 in a row from 2020 to 2023, 2 with Kansas City and 2 with the Miami freaking Dolphins. Now, he would have broke 1,000 yards last season if it wasn't for injuries both from him and Tua, but it is what it is. He ended up with 956 yards. Now, we have seen Tyreek Hill lose his cool. We've seen him blow up last season, saying that he wants out of Miami. And a few weeks later, he kind of backed off of those comments, right? Whether it was said by the owner or general manager saying, hey, you better back off these comments, or if it was actually his words himself, that is a story for a different day. But let's keep it 100. He did say that he wanted out of Miami. But we all kept thinking that he legitimately wants out of Miami. Ever since he said those comments, still today, I still think he legitimately wants out of Miami. But what team would be a great fit for him? Now, there are teams out there that I think could potentially use the services of a Tyreek Hill. Many of the Kansas City Chiefs fan. I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan, but I'm going to exclude myself from this conversation. Many Kansas City Chiefs fans are saying, come back to Kansas City. Let's run it back. Stop. Please do not do that. Tyreek Hill is not a good fit in Kansas City right now. Tyreek Hill is not a fit in Kansas City as of right now. Ever since Tyreek Hill left back in 2021, I believe it was, Patrick Mahomes grew as a player. The Kansas City Chiefs grew as a team, right? The Kansas City Chiefs became great without Tyreek Hill. Addition by subtraction, right? Let's just get that started. Let's just get that out there. Stop that right there. Bada bing, bada boom. It is out, right? So let's start with a broad list. Let's start off on the bottom of the pyramid and start to narrow it down to a team that would fit Tyreek Hill. what teams need receivers out there? What team out there in this NFL draft is going to draft, more than likely, draft a receiver? The Carolina Panthers, they need a receiver. Dallas Cowboys, Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders, New Orleans Saints, Seattle Seahawks, and the Washington Commanders. So let's quickly narrow down the list, because I think Tyreek Hill would not want to get traded to a non-Super Bowl competing team, a team that's not going to win the Super Bowl right now. So that crosses the Panthers off the list. That crosses the Raiders off the list. That crosses the Saints off the list, the Seahawks, and we can just go ahead and cross all those teams off of the list. So that leaves us with the Broncos, Cowboys, and the Commanders. Now, if I'm a Denver Broncos fan, if I'm the front office of the Denver Broncos, I do not want to think about bringing Tyreek Hill into town. I do not want to bring in a ego, a cancer, a diva like Tyreek Hill into Denver, into Mile High Stadium. Bo Nix is growing at a rate that Tyreek Hill will probably stunt that growth. Let's just be flat out honest. Tyreek Hill might destroy that young nucleus in Denver that they have built, and they had very much success last season in 2024. So I think the Broncos are out. That leaves us the Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have already shown that they don't like to make off-season moves. They don't like to go out there and sign a big name. They don't like to go out there and make a big trade. Their big off-season move this offseason was signing Turpin to a 3-year deal. Like, stop it. That is dumb. So that kicks the Cowboys to the curves. So that leaves one team only. That would be a good suitor, in my opinion, actually a great suitor in Tyreek Hill, and that would be the Washington Commanders. The Commanders did already trade for Deebo Samuels. Yes, I understand that. And they just picked up former Dallas Cowboy Michael Gallup as well. Their receiving room right now is Scary Terry McLaurin, my bad, Deebo, Noah Brown, Michael Gallup, and Luke McCaffrey. Adding Tyreek Hill would instantly make him a number 2, if not a number 1 receiver in that room. So logically, it makes sense. Financially, they have the room to bring him on. But the real question is, would Tyreek Hill be willing to be a number 2 receiver? Probably not. Would he be a good growth? Would he stunt the growth of Jaden Daniels? Probably not. But the Commanders, like I said, do have the cap room. They do have the coaching, and they do have the backbone to support a player like Tyreek Hill. So if Tyreek Hill, guys, were to get traded, if I'm the Washington Commanders, and only the Washington Commanders, I would be entertaining the idea of bringing Tyreek Hill into Washington, D.C., into the nation's capital. But only if the price is right. 3rd round pick, late 2nd round pick. It would definitely have to favor my position to bring in a receiver like Tyreek Hill. So, guys, when you hear that Tyreek Hill could potentially be traded to a team, what team do you think he fits? What NFL team out there would be a great suitor? What do you guys think? Old Man River says, kid is making a locker room a cancer, period. And Old Man River, you are not wrong, right? Obviously, we have spoke on a lot of wide receivers in the last week or two, right? It seems like every show that we are talking about a wide receiver and their ego and their cancer and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I think we're all kind of in agreement. We all kind of understand that being a great wide receiver in the NFL requires a little bit of ego. It requires a lot of ego. It requires to have the selfish me attitude, because if you do not have the me attitude, the quarterback will quickly look the other way, even though he does not think you are open. So let's just be honest. So is he a cancer? I don't know, right? Obviously in Kansas City, I feel that he was a cancer because everybody and their dog knew that he was a top 5, maybe the best receiver in the NFL. Everybody and their dog knew that he was looking for that big payday. Everybody and their dog knew that Patrick Mahomes was forcing Tyreek Hill to hold the ball in that final season in Kansas City to try to keep him happy, to keep him there, and maybe to, quote, run it back, right? But, yes, cancer and elite wide receiver kind of right now go hand in hand. Stephon Diggs, you can probably put Jamar Chase up there. You can definitely put A.J. Brown up there, and now Tyreek Hill, right? It's just, I think it's just the nature of the beast at the end of the day. Real McCoy is here today. What's up, Real McCoy? Glad you are back today here, man. He says he went to Miami for the payday. And Real McCoy, as on the surface, everything seems to be that way, right? Everything seems that he went to Miami because he said no to the Kansas City Chiefs offer. The Kansas City Chiefs put his name out there on the trading block, and he got laid to get paid, right? But he has, since then, he has come out on his own podcast while streaming games and like whatnot. He did say that he would take less money to stay in Kansas City, but Drew Rosenhaus, which was his agent, jumped the gun and went to Miami and got him a deal, and they got him a deal that the Kansas City Chiefs couldn't say no to. So as he did get paid in Miami, I think he would have probably hypothetically have stayed in Kansas City for a little bit less for a chance to win multiple Super Bowls. Now, would the Kansas City Chiefs have won multiple Super Bowls with Tyreek Hill, meaning back-to-back and potentially a three-peat? I am saying no. The reason that I'm saying no is because when Tyreek Hill left Kansas City, it forced Patrick Mahomes to use the whole field. When Tyreek Hill left Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs did not have a number one receiver, aka Rashid Rice, until that playoff push. Nobody knew who was getting the ball, and that made the Kansas City Chiefs very, very dangerous. If the Kansas City Chiefs and Tyreek Hill would have stayed married, we would have known who the number one guy is. They would have known who to double team. You get him frustrated, start to be a cancer in the locker room. Everything starts to fall apart. So Matt Henry, our resident Bear fan, is in the chat today. Matt, you're also a Ohio State guy, right? Wait, what do you think about Will Howard going to Pittsburgh Steelers, baby? But what's up, Matt? What's up? Matt.
Pigskin Pun. Get you some.
Guys, click on the membership tab below. Become a Pigskin Pun. It was $4.99 a month. You got some free merch. You get hoodies. You get t-shirts. You get hats. You get free entry into our $1,000 weekly NFL giveaways once the NFL season does start. Speaking of Man Hour and Pigskin Puns, what's up, Derek? Derek is in the chat today. Hope you're having a good day, Derek. And Alpha Rob says, you know what? Teams on the West Coast for Tyreek Hill makes sense. Meaning the LA Chargers, meaning the Las Vegas Raiders, meaning the San Francisco 49ers. Those all make sense in Alpha Rob's eyes. And Alpha Rob, the Chargers definitely need a prolific playmaker wide receiver. Ladd McConkey probably isn't the guy. Mike Williams is back there in Chargers the last I knew. I think he signed, like a 1-year deal, maybe a two-year deal. He is not the guy. And rumors are that Keenan Allen is going to come back to LA to become a Charger as well. Obviously, he is not the guy that he was just 2, 3, 4 years ago. So Chargers do make sense, right? However, they're not desperate. They don't need a guy. So that is why they did not make my short list there of the who was it? The Panthers, Cowboys, Broncos, Raiders, Saints, Seahawks, and Commanders. Those are the 5-6 teams that I think are that will be drafting a wide receiver in the upcoming draft, with about 25 days away or days or so. That is why they made the short list. Raiders obviously make sense, but I think Tyreek Hill wants to go to a Super Bowl contending team. And I'm not trying to dog the Raiders today, guys. Like, normally I'm a Raiders hater, right? But I'm not trying to dog the Raiders today. I don't think they're ready to win a Super Bowl right now. So Tyreek Hill, peace out there, right? And the San Francisco 49ers, who knows what they're doing? Like, let's just be honest, right? They traded Debo. They're cutting everybody on the defense. The offensive line's getting scrapped out as well. The rumor is probably by tomorrow we are going to find out if Brandon Ayuk gets traded or not. So we don't really know what is going on truly over there in old San Francisco. So if Tyreek Hill was a potential candidate to go to San Francisco, I feel like it would quickly be nixed. He'd be like, thanks, but no thanks at the end of the day there. But the Raiders would probably make sense. And Old Man River says, why not Canada? Go join Trey Lance. Go become a roughneck. Go be like Buck and be a Blue Bomber, right? Go to Canada. He would not thrive in Canada. I just want to put it out there. Alpha Rob says the Cowboys. Jerry will do that. Alpha Rob, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Granted, we did break up last year, but I am that crazy ex. I've been stalking the Dallas Cowboys. I stalk them. I stalk their Facebook page. I stalk their X page. I go to Instagram. I have them on Snapchat still. Sometimes I text them and then delete it again. I still love the Dallas Cowboys, right? But I'm so mad about the Dallas Cowboys. We broke up last season, and I don't see us ever getting back together. But Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, for some reason, they are so hell-bent of building through the draft. They are so hell-bent of developing the players that they have that they are afraid to admit that they are wrong. They are afraid to admit that, hey, we could have used the services of Derrick Henry last season. We could have went out and got Saquon Barkley. Jerry Jones would not trade for Tyreek Hill, as it would be must-see TV, as it would be awesome, as it would be putting the Dallas Cowboys front and center each and every week. CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Turpin, the fastest wide receiver core in the whole NFL, right? It would be magical on ESPN. My God, they would be getting off. But for some reason, Jerry Jones is just afraid to make that move. Jerry Jones is afraid to just pull the trigger and do anything that resembly that could, I guess, realistically help the Dallas Cowboys. Like signing Turpin did not help the Dallas Cowboys. Restructuring CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott to legitimately do nothing did not help the Dallas Cowboys. Like, it helped his pocketbook a little bit. It made us talk about them. Hey, are they going to bring in a Tyreek Hill? Are they going to make a trade for Myles Garrett? Like it is tough being a Cowboys fan. It is tough. It is tough. It is tough. Old Man River says, what about Arizona? Listen, Arizona would make sense, right? If you want to flash back a couple days, a couple weeks, or whatever it's been, I said Amari Cooper to the Arizona Cardinals would be perfect. I said that Amari Cooper could potentially put the Arizona Cardinals in the playoffs, jumping the Seattle Seahawks, jumping the San Francisco 49ers, not winning the division, but making them a legitimate threat in the NFC. And I believe it was Alpha Rob and maybe some other people said, hey, you know what? Amari Cooper's washed up. Let's say he is washed up. Let's say he doesn't sign with anybody. Tyreek Hill to the Arizona Cardinals would help Marvin Harrison Jr., would help Zay Jones, would help James Conner and Trey McBride. The only thing I would be worried about is the ability of Kyler Murray to get Tyreek Hill the ball. Does he have the arm strength? Does he have the ability to stay in the pocket and extend the plays and see over the line? We know he's like 5'7", 5'8". Can he do that? Let's Go Sports says, what's up? What is up? Let's Go Sports. Glad you're here today, brother. He says, I do not think Tyreek Hill and Debo would be good for that locker room. But if it does happen, the Commanders are automatically top of the league. When I think of Debo Samuel, Let's Go Sports and rest of Man Hour Nation here, guys. Thank you guys for joining us here as always. Be sure to hit that like button and share button if you're enjoying the content. I've never really understood that Debo, or I never got the feeling that Debo is a diva, a cancer, a me type of guy, right? I've never heard really anything bad about Debo. Yes, he wanted to get a little bit of bread. Who doesn't want to get a little bit of bread? Yes, he was upset that he was not getting paid like a top receiver in the league when the San Francisco 49ers were running him in the dirt before Christian McCaffrey came, right? He was the running back. He was their star receiver. He was their tight end. Hell, he was a quarterback, right? They were legitimately running him into the dirt. And every player has the right to voice like, hey man, like come on, dog. Like, I enjoy getting the ball, but you are legitimately tearing me apart by making me be a running back and a quarterback and this and this and this. And ever since then, ever since they brought in Christian McCaffrey from the Panthers into the San Francisco 49ers, I didn't hear Debo bitch, gripe, or nothing about nothing, right? Now, I could be wrong. I could just not be reading the right could not be reading the right articles, could not be listening to the right people, but I have not heard anything bad about Debo. Now, would Debo Samuel be willing to take that number 3 receiver position? Would Tyreek Hill be willing to take that number 3 position? Like, that is the biggest question. Yes, on paper, good Lord, that would be dangerous, right? With a hot, young, potentially top 5 quarterback in Jaden Daniels in 2025, a former could be, again, top 5 receiver in the NFL, Tyreek Hill, matched with solid stud receivers with Scary Terry and Debo. Like, that offense could be very, very dangerous, right? Plus with like the 10 draft picks that they got. Hell, let's go sports. Like, I gotta want to get too carried away because it is March the 31st. We still have April, May, June, July, right? Before we show 4 months until we start breaking down the schedules, giving the win-loss totals, that kind of thing going into the 2025 NFL season. But all indications point that the Commanders are going to be top of the league as is. All indications point to me that the Washington Commanders will be them. But Tyreek Hill onto that roster, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Alpha Rob says, "Who was a girl who broke her leg banging her?" So, Alpha Rob, from the story that I understand, per the court case, right? Tyreek Hill likes big women, big boobs, big butt, big in the belly. He likes big white women, which most little black men do, right? If you are a little black man, you're more than likely going to be dating a larger white woman, especially during tax season. Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. But from what I understand of that story is that the girl's kid attended one of Tyreek Hill's camps. Tyreek Hill saw the baby mama. It's like, damn, that girl fine. Son, you need some personal one-on-one lessons. So he went to her house and was showing her how to do the drills, how to get her son better, get him into the NFL, into college, whatever, right? And she come up and press him, and he did a little bit jump, and she tripped and broke her leg. Now, did they end up banging? Maybe. But that lawsuit quickly got swept away. Let's Go Sports says, Chargers have a lot of number 2 receivers, but not a number 1. I think he makes the Chargers a deep playoff run contending team, but not Super Bowl contenders, if that makes difference to him. And Tyreek Hill has won a Super Bowl ring, right? He has won Super Bowl ring with the Kansas City Chiefs back in 2021, right? Obviously, Tyreek Hill was a elite receiver in the NFL. What better way to submit his legacy, to put a feather in his cap, by going to a rival team like the LA Chargers and to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West, to dethrone the Buffalo Bills, to dethrone the Baltimore Ravens, to make this team that is presumably a wide receiver core a way to making deep playoff threats. Let's just be honest. Their defense is pretty good. Justin Herbert's a top 10 quarterback, top 12 quarterback in the NFL. They got the head coach. They got the running game. They're missing receivers, right? That would be a staple, a feather in Tyreek Hill's hat. That would get Tyreek Hill off. He would have 10 more kids in California. So he would have 9 kids in Florida, 2 in Kansas City, and then 10 more in California, man. He would be across the whole country, right? I mean, yes, I think you are right. I think Tyreek Hill to the Chargers definitely makes them a deep Super Bowl run, meaning they will probably make it to the AFC Championship game, if not a divisional round. Winning one game in the playoffs for a team like the Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, in the playoffs is a deep run. But yes, let's go sports. I agree with you on that. I think Tyreek Hill going to LA makes them a deep playoff contender. What would make them a Super Bowl contender raises my mind. Makes me pop that eye, giving the people's eyebrow, right?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
For them to be a Super Bowl contender, they would have to have a little bit more running game, right? Did they let Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins walk? Well, one of those running backs walked, so the running back room's a little bit thin. But if you can get Tyreek Hill in there, draft a running back, hey, Kansas City Chiefs, we're already worried about the Chargers. Let's just be honest. We are already worried about the Chargers. Chargers always play the Chiefs well. Getting to the playoffs, Harbaugh's first season, granted they lost to the Texans, probably could have potentially beat the Texans if they just had a little bit more offensive firepower. They are a Tyreek Hill away. Alpha Rob says, slow it down, baby. Come on, Buck. You know we'll be back with Dallas if they start looking at 5-1 and looking good. Hey, I said I'm the Crazy X, Alpha Rob. I said I am the Crazy X. I am stalking that Facebook. I am stalking that Instagram. I'm stalking that X account. The minute they start to put on a little bit of makeup, the minute people are starting to want that Dallas Cowboys, the minute they start to look a little bit juicy in the booty, I'm coming, baby. I'm coming. Let's not get it twisted. I'm coming. Let's Go Sports says Jerry Jones will go all out to trade for a terrible player, but not try to get a good, super good player at that position. That is why I laugh at the Cowboys. And listen, that's why everybody laughs at the Cowboys. Me as a Cowboys hater now. I'm not a hater. I still love them. But that's why people do not trust anything that Jerry Jones says. Because he's talking out both sides of his mouth every time he speaks. We're all in. Hey, let's sign Turpin. We are going to be selectively aggressive. Yes, I know his son said that, but stop it. Good Lord. Stop it. Derek says it would be a long shot. How long Dax Fax is going to be there? I'm not for sure what you're saying. How long will Dax be there? Derek, I'm not 100% sure what you're saying, but Tyreek Hill is 2 years left on his deal, maybe? I'm not for sure. Let's Go Sports says the Cardinals are a playoff contending team if they can get a few big wins here or there and pull some close games, especially in a not super good division. Definitely a good division, but not super good. So let's talk a little bit about the Arizona Cardinals. Let's briefly touch on the Arizona Cardinals because I have not done a lot of research on them, but I do know that they definitely overachieved in 2024. Let's just be honest. They did overachieve in 2024. Everybody that I spoke to, from Wayne G to people in the Chicago Bears organization, hell, when I had the Arizona Cardinals insider man himself from the Believe Sports Network onto the show, he's like, look, man, we are 2-3 win team tops. We are not very good. Those are his words, not mine. I had the Cardinals about a 3 or 4 win team. I think Wayne G had him as a losing team, as a winless team in 2024. Getting 8 wins in 2024 was definitely an overachievement, right? Kyler Murray played at that MVP level for about 3 or 4 weeks now. People were jumping on him, saying, hey, this guy's back, but he quickly fell back off, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. had that little spat earlier in the season. How can I be great if I'm not getting the ball? Kyler Murray clapped back like, hey, you got to get open to get the ball. That is when they plateaued with those 3 or 4 wins, and they come back down really, really quickly, right? The Arizona Cardinals, I don't know what big wins you are referring to. Is it a win over the Rams? Is it a win over the Cardinals? Or is it a out-of-conference win? I don't know who they play, but let's say they play like the Dallas Cowboys. Like when you say big win, like what do you consider a big win? Is it a primetime game? Is it a team like is it a game that you are supposed to lose? Is it like The Arizona Cardinals are a playoff team if they are just a consistent team. If they consistently play the way they play those 3 or 4 weeks when Kyler Murray was at an MVP level, Kyler Murray was playing some damn good football. If they consistently play at that level, maybe a little higher, maybe a little bit lower, but if they're a nice, steady, let's say even a B minus team, they can make it into the playoffs. Because so many of these NFL teams, right, are so up and down. That is what makes the NFL so great, is from one week to the next. You can be high as high and then low as low, and then what, right? Look at the Chicago Bears, right? They were riding the high note. What, they were 4-2 or whatever. They were doing great, doing God's work. And then a Hail Mary pass by the Washington Commanders derailed their whole season. The Washington Commanders, everybody's, well, it's just the Commanders, whatever. They really haven't played anybody. They're not that good. A Hail Mary pass catapults their whole season. So as you are correct, one big win here or there will definitely catapult them into the playoffs. But as long as they split with their division, beat the Rams once, beat the 49ers once, beat the Seahawks once, I think they are a playoff-bound team. Now, obviously, we're 4 months away. So don't put those words in my mouth and stir them up and expect them to be facts. But the simple facts are is that I think they will be good in 2025. RPG Production says, Mike Vrabel said that he is the most excited for our signing, which will be Brandon Ayuk or Hill. So RPG Productions is a New England Patriots fan. He's always in the comments talking about how great the New England Patriots are, but I can tell you that Brandon Ayuk or Tyreek Hill is not going to go to the New England Patriots. If the New England Patriots want to have any signs of being good, they're going to add some offensive line help. So that's who their most signing will be. Old Man River says, but he plays 3 positions. Debo did play three positions. And he was mad about it. He was very, very mad about it. Alpha Rob says Diggs and Hill on the same team wouldn't work. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. 100%. It would not work at all. Mellow Mike. What's up, Mellow Mike? He says, watch Caleb against the Texans D's. Boy got shook. Caleb Williams, I'm assuming that's the Caleb that you're referring to. But Caleb Williams had an average of 2.3 seconds to throw the ball in 2025. The Chicago Bears had the 28th or 29th ranked offensive line per PFF. The Chicago Bears were terrible on offense in 2024. Bad offensive line, little to no running game, bad situational play calling. Hell, they went through 3 play callers that particular season. What do you expect from Caleb Williams? I don't care how good you are. My man Jim Powell said it the best. He has echoed my words because he's been listening to Man Hour for a little bit, but give Jim credit where credit is due. He says a great offensive line will make an average quarterback look great. A bad offensive line will make an elite quarterback look terrible. Caleb Williams will be just fine in 2025. Caleb Williams might be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL come 2025. Now, there are a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Not everybody can be top 10. But Caleb Williams will have a positive 2025 season. Ben Johnson and all their signings will be positive in Chicago. From Joe Tooney, from Jonah Jackson, right? All those signings were huge. They are not big, flashy markets. They're not big, flashy names. They're not the big, sexy positions, but they filled all their needs in Chicago. The Chicago Bears will not disappoint this season. They are a playoff-bound team. But Buck, I know. I said never buy the Bears in March, never buy the Bears in April, never buy the Bears in May, June, July, August, September, October, hell, maybe not even November. But I can tell you that you can get a little bit excited about the Chicago Bears. This is the first time in a long time that I've been doing the Man Hour. We're going on 3 years. April 11th, 2022 is when we started this. We're going on year number 3. We're almost 3 years old here. And this is the first time in like a long time that I have definitely had confidence in the Chicago Bears. That I've actually is like saying, hey, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, they can finally right the ship. Maybe, just maybe. Mellow Mike says, you need to put some respect on the Texans. And FYI, Gardner is not a depth piece. He was a starter on the Super Bowl team, and he now won a slot next to Bullock, elite defense bro. The Texans had a top 10 defense in 2024. The signing of Danielle Hunter was game-changing for the Houston Texans in 2024. Many people forgot that they signed Danielle Hunter in 2024. Danielle Hunter was a steal of that offseason. Danielle Hunter is a player that you can watch tape, you can watch film, and he doesn't really jump off at you, doesn't really make those big, flashy plays, but he does what he is supposed to do. And when you look at the stats, you're like, oh, shit, that kid had like 3 sacks, nine tackles, a forced fumble. Like, Danielle Hunter goes out there and does his work. He is definitely a top 5 defensive end in the NFL. And honestly, if he had a little bit more name notoriety around him, he could probably be top 3, top 2. He is that damn good. Now, the Houston Texans defense as a whole was grungy. It was nasty. However, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is just a depth add. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is just a piece to the puzzle. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is just a player that is going to be a backup, might be a nickel piece. If he slides into the starting role, he's definitely going to get rotated out a lot because the Texans defense is pretty set. The Texans defense is nasty. It is grungy, and they're going to upset a lot of people just strictly by their defense alone. Now, to put some respect on the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans' schedule in 2023 was very, very favorable. That is why they ultimately ended up winning the division, because they had a very favorable schedule. And, of course, they dropped past by the Indianapolis Colts. Tailback at the time, was it Pierce? I think it dropped it. But whatever. 2024 was a little bit of a reality check. Competition got a little bit stiffer, and the Houston Texans didn't really step up to their calling on the offensive side. Defense was still great. Defense was still elite. You could definitely bank on that defense. Not a lot of the times there, but the beginning of the end for the Houston Texans was when were they leading at halftime to the Detroit Lions, or were they down by 4? I think they're up by 4 by the Detroit Lions going into halftime, and they come out in the second half and they totally shit the bed. That was the beginning of the end, and that's where they lost all of their respect. If they can come out this season in 2025 and dominate the AFC South, which they should, Colts are down, Titans are clearly down, Jaguars are rebuilding, but I don't expect them to be any good. If they can dominate the South, then they might gain a little bit of respect. But until then, slow it down, baby. Slow it down, baby. Let's Go Sports says the way C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels played as rookies has set the bar high for rookie quarterbacks, which I think is going to be good for the future quarterbacks because of their patience for them to develop in less time. And yes, let's give credit where credit is due. C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels played out of their mind their rookie season. Jaden Daniels came into that role, took the team, took on that leadership role, and took them to the moon. C.J. Stroud did much of the same thing. DeMeco Ryans and C.J. Stroud was a match made in heaven. Plus, with that nice little receiver core that they had, like at the time they had Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and was it Michi the third, I believe it was. They had a good little offense, a great defense, and definitely a very, very favorable schedule. Now, on the second part of your statement there, and he says, I think it's not going to be good for future quarterbacks because the patience is going to develop less time. You are right as there as well. Like I tell my high school kids, right? Like I tell my high school kids, once you perform at said level, whether it's once in practice, whether it's game, whether it's scrimmage, whether it's the weight room, whether it's the classroom, I expect you to perform at that level. If you are not consistently performing at that level, something is wrong and I'm going to ride your ass. Now, once you do achieve that level, I'm going to up the bar. You are never going to, quote, satisfy me. One of the kids thought I was always hard on him because he was never good enough. I'm like, I'm making you better, right? I keep raising your elevation, raising your play. With that being said, though, let's go sports. I don't think it's going to be more pressure on the quarterbacks. Because when you draft a rookie quarterback to start on your team, more than likely that is going to be a top 10 pick. You are indebted to that team for at least 4 or 5 years. Let's just be flat out honest. What it does is puts more pressure on the coaching staff, right? Puts more pressure on coaches to come out there and perform right then and there. The success of DeMeco Ryans, the success of let's say Dan Campbell, the success of Dan Quinn the last couple seasons had definitely elevated that coaching thing, right? Coaches are a dime a dozen, right? We cycle through coaches, we chew them up and spit them out. If they can survive the first 2-3 seasons, they're going to probably be there for a long time. I think it puts more pressure on the coaches than it does the quarterback. But obviously, yes, the quarterback does have pressure, but I think it's more pressure on the coach, if that makes sense. Hopefully, I somewhat said that correctly. RPG Production says Drake May is greater than Caleb Williams. I'm not even being biased. Who was it that said that Drake May had the strongest arm in the? No, that was JJ McCarthy. So JJ McCarthy has the strongest arm. Who in the NFL has the most? That's not Drake. That's not Drake May either. Who in the NFL has the most ups? That's not Drake. That's not Drake May either. Drake May was overdrafted, picked way too high. Drake May is going to be a product of a bust system. Drake May is going to be out of New England out of 2025. RPG Productions. I said it once. I'll say it again. I'll say it again back in June, and then I'll say it in December. Ha ha ha! I told you so. New England Patriots are looking for that franchise quarterback right now. It wasn't Mac Jones for whatever reason. Even though we led him to the playoffs their first season, and he got thrown onto the bus by three different coordinators in 2 seasons. Drake May is going to be much of the same. Mellow Mike says we played a first place schedule with a anemic offense. They just need an average offense to move upward. You are correct. If the Houston Texans can get a little bit better on the offensive side of the ball, which is the offensive line. Their offensive line was terrible. If they can improve that offensive line, the Houston Texans could potentially be another wild card team and another first round exit. And Alpha Rob said it best. The Texans will always be the 4th seed in the AFC. For the foreseeable future, they are always going to be the 4th place team in the AFC. They can have 14 wins. They're still going to be the 4th place team in the AFC. They are going to be the laughable losers. Hey, we're winning the AFC South. We're making the playoffs, but we're always we're a second round exit each and every year. Damn it, we win that wild card game. We beat those Broncos and Chargers and the Browns. And yay. Let's Go Sports says, I know Vrabel wants to win now because of the investment that they made. Most of them were pretty good investments, but you can't expect May to be good right away, so that could be a problem. Let's Go Sports, you are exactly right. When I was ranking our the best off-season moves so far this off-season, which my list releases tomorrow, April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke. It's just when I have it scheduled to release. Spoiler alert, I have the New England Patriots as the 3rd. They're the 3rd best team of off-season moves. They have made a lot of great acquisitions. The Milton signing was a little right? But they added the pieces where they needed to add the pieces. And, of course, adding Mike Vrabel, give him a new voice, give him a a tenured voice, a voice that has been there, done that, a voice that understands to have a backbone. You got to be a little abrasive. Yes, the New England Patriots do have a positive in 2025. But I think their over-under last Friday was 7.5 games, and I had them under as that. Had them under, right? Man, James Frank is in the chat, says, what's up, dude? What's up, James? What's up? And Laura.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Laura's a pigskin pun. Guys, be like Laura and click on the membership tab below. She says, hey. And James says, give Vrabel a season or two, and I'll be saying, why the hell didn't they hire Vrabes and fire Stefanski? James, that is tough. It is tough because there's a reason why Mike Vrabel wasn't hired as a coach last season. I don't know the reason, but I'm not for sure if Mike Vrabel really truly is the guy. I don't know. But let's go ahead and move on here, guys. That's not the right one. That is the right one. Is it? No, that's not the right one. What is going on here? That's the one we want. Raiders head coach, Mr. Pete Carroll, says they're working actively on an extension for Geno Smith. This is the highest priority of them going into the NFL into the season in 2025. He wants to get an extension done and a deal done before OTA start in May. Guys, when we look at the Las Vegas Raiders, should this really be a priority of signing Geno Smith? Should this legitimately be a priority in Vegas to sign Geno Smith, a 35-year-old quarterback to an extension? When we look at Geno Smith, he currently has 1 year left on his deal, which is as a base salary of $14.8 million in 2025. He is 35 years old, and he has not really wowed the NFL per se, right? Now, he has had a pretty decent last 3 seasons since Wilson has left Seattle. He had 4,320 yards last season with a 70% completion rate with 21 touchdowns. In 2023, he had 3,624 yards with 20 touchdowns. And in 2022, when he did take over the starting role, he had 4,282 yards with 30 touchdowns. When we look at the track record of Geno Smith, he was drafted by the Jets back in 2013. He did show a little bit of promise his rookie season, but it quickly fell into the Jets trap, or the Browns trap, or the basically player hell. He was then picked up by the Giants for a season where he was a backup, and then he went to the LA Chargers for 2 seasons when he landed in Seattle in 2020 when he was a backup for 2 seasons there as well. Now, when you look at Geno Smith and you look at the potential of an extension, there are 3 different routes that I could go here. One, I do not think it is a priority. What has he done for you? He has won 1 playoff game, not in Vegas. He has not been a top 10 quarterback ever in his NFL career, and he is not that go out there and win you a bunch of games type of quarterback. So if we're looking at an extension, are we looking at a Russell Wilson type of deal, a $10.5 million deal, or are we looking at a Sam Darnold deal, which is a 3-year, $100 million deal, right? Now, I'm not saying that the Raiders do not have the cap space, which they do. Old Man River told me yesterday or Friday they had a $127 million cap space prior to the Max Crosby signing and some other signings that they did. Now, realistically, Geno Smith is not the long-term answer. Realistically, Pete Carroll is not the long-term answer. So are you building to win now, or are you building to win for the future? Like, that is the question around Las Vegas. Like, where are your priorities at? Is it win now, or is it a bridge gap quarterback? Is it to draft a quarterback now for the future? Is it to build for the future? Is it to win in 2-3 seasons? And that is the biggest question mark about the about the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Los Angeles Raiders, whatever city that they're in this particular season. That's the issue with the Las Vegas Raiders. The year in and year out is they have no clear direction. Are they building for the future? 2027, 2026, 2028, or are they trying to win now? And pending on the contract extension, because we know that Pete Carroll is a man of his word, and Pete Carroll loves him some Geno Smith, and Pete Carroll is probably going to get him that 3-year, $100 million deal. Let's just be honest. Are the Raiders legitimately a team that could build around Geno Smith? And the question to me is no. You cannot build around Geno Smith. Geno Smith is a 1-year quarterback, potentially 2 in Las Vegas. Let's just call a spade a spade. Sign him. You can extend him all you want. Extend him 1 year for $14.5 million. The same thing that he's making right now. What they need to make a priority is keeping that defense somewhat intact. They got cherry-picked this offseason. Yes, they kept the man, the myth, the legend, Max Crosby, but they lost everybody else. Let's worry about maybe getting a receiver, running that back, that's worth the damn, a coach that's not 85 years old or highly overrated, Antonio Pierce. Like, the Raiders need a direction. The Raiders need a vision board. The Raiders need to write down what their goals are in 2027 and strive to those goals. Not worry about 2025. Not worry about 2026. Those are flush it down the year drains, right? How can we win a Super Bowl in 2026? And the answer is not Geno Smith. The answer is not Geno Smith. So the question is, should this be a priority in Vegas? No, it shouldn't. It should not be a priority at all. What should be a priority is nailing the draft in April. What should be a priority is developing those players in May and June and July. What should be a priority is not being another 4-win team in 2025 NFL season. What should be a priority is making sure Buck does not anticipate you guys getting 9 losses in a row yet again, and me being spot on yet again, and pissing all off you Raiders fans again off in 2025 again. That's what you should be figuring out. Not Geno Smith. But let's talk about it. Laura says, I'm just ready for the start of the NFL season. Laura, listen, in 4 months, Laura, we will be going from team to team to team, giving you the win-loss, winners of their division, winner of the playoffs, the Super Bowl champions. Once I get back from Mexico, it would be my 8th anniversary to my beautiful wife. We are going from Mexico from June 16th to June 22nd. Once that we are back, we're breaking it down, baby. The season's here. It's coming, baby. It's coming. That's what she said. And Alpha Rob says, like, an extension for what? An extension for what, Geno Smith? What have you done for me lately? 4,200 yards in 2024. Alpha Rob. 21 touchdowns. 70% completion percentage. 4,282 yards back in 2023 with 30 touchdowns with the 69 completion percentage. Well, you're right. What has he done? 1 playoff win. 1! I believe it was back in 2022. James Frank says, I think Geno is still a bad man. James, you're right. Geno Smith is bad. There's a reason why the Jets let him go. There's a reason why the Giants let him walk away. There's a reason why the was it 49ers let him walk away. Now, I'm not saying he is not a pliable quarterback in the NFL. I'm not saying that he is going to go out there and lose you a bunch of games, Jameis Winston. I'm not saying he is going to go out there and give you shit stats and turn the ball over a lot and do this and do this. But I am telling you, he is not going to go out there and win you a lot of games. He is a game manager. That's not a bad term. That's just what it is. He is a game manager. He lets the defense win. He relies on the coach, relies on the running game, nickel and dimes you down the field. Geno Smith is 35, going to be 36 years old by the start of the NFL season. Will be 37 by the time his contract's up. He's old. Little left. There's a little tread left on the tire. So he is a bad man. He is a top 20 quarterback in the NFL. Alpha Rob says it's not like he's winning playoff games. You're right, Alpha Rob. He's won one playoff game. One. Matter of fact, I think he's 1-2 and the playoffs. He's been to the playoffs twice. Let me confirm that. Let me remember correctly. Geno Smith's playoff. We're going to statmuse.com. So he's actually he has not won any playoff game. Sorry. Scratch that. He's played in one playoff game. He hasn't even won a playoff game. He's played one playoff game. Sorry. I knew that, and I remember seeing the one, but I thought he won a game, but no, he hasn't even won a playoff game yet. 0-1. 253 3 yards passing, 72% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 98.9. He was sacked 3 times in that game, but hey, let's pay him that money. Let's extend him. Old man River.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He said, we need a couple good linebackers. I see improvement in Devin White and add the kid from Pittsburgh. So to me, it sounds like you need to nail the draft and not pay Geno Smith. Make him prove it to you.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Laura said, no, should not be a priority. Finding a whole new team for the Raiders is priority. Fire everybody. And Laura, they had the chance to do that. They legitimately had a chance to blow it up, get rid of your assets, right? File for Chapter 7 bankruptcy and rebuild, and they chose not to. What did they choose to do? They chose to double down on that one commodity that they love, Max Crosby, to double it down and say, Max, lead us to 6 wins in 2025, baby. Like, the Raiders legitimately had the opportunity to trade away Max Crosby for 2 first-round draft picks, potentially 3. Hell, it could have been a 5-pick trade that they could have got for Max Crosby. Yes, they brought in Geno Smith. But you get rid of Max Crosby with 4 or 5 picks, 2 first rounds and a 3rd round and a 5th round pick. Let's just throw some numbers out there. I think that would be suitable. Now you're building for the future. Now you got your priorities in like a line. Yes, I know that Old Man River and Jim and all those Raider fans say that Max Crosby is Raiders through and through. He has a Raiders tattoo. He's not going nowhere. Well, sometimes you got to break up to expand. Just like my grass outside. I had spots of yellow all over my nice green grass. I've been trying to save it. I've been trying to fertilize it, trying to seed it, trying to scalp it, trying to get it up. But it just stays brown. It stays brown until about May, June, and it pisses me off. This season, I finally bit it. I pulled that shit up, planted new St. Augustine grass seed down, and now she's beautiful, baby. She's flourishing. And I transplanted that grass to the backyard when I get more sunlight. And by the way, she's flourishing now, right, too. It's a win-win. It is a win-win. Mellow Mike says, Vegas going to draft Gentry and have Geno hand the ball off 20 times per game and complete the pass occasionally to Brock Bowers. Easy-o. And if that is the case, Raiders are drafting what, number 6? It would be a steal of the draft. Top 3 players in this year's draft are Carter. Then you got Travis Hunter, which he's not the best corner or best receiver, but he's just the best overall athlete. And then you got Gentry. And a bunch of offensive line, and then about 12, 13, 14, you had Cam Ward, and then Shedeur Sanders, right? Gentry would be a workhorse in Las Vegas. I agree. In college, Gentry had 360 carries in 3 seasons, I believe it was. That's tough. But yeah, give the man the ball. James Frank says Raiders are trying to win now. James, if the Raiders are trying to win now, if the Las Vegas Raiders say 2025 is our season to go win now, we have $127 million in cap space. Let's cut ties with a lot of our defensive players, Diablo and Splaney and those other guys. Let's bring in Geno Smith. Let's trade for Geno Smith, a third round draft pick, I might add, and let's make a push. But what have the Raiders done this offseason? Like, legitimately, like, what have the Raiders done this offseason? I don't remember any big names getting signed there or any big trades or besides Geno Smith, obviously. I mean, I guess they picked up Raheem Mostert, right? They, was it Alex Capa that they signed? Other than that, like, what have they done? To say they're trying to win now, what have they done? They were not in talks with Stephon Diggs. They're not on the phone with Amari Cooper. Say, hey, come back to black and gold or black and silver. They're not trying to trade for Dak Prescott or Tyreek Hill or like. How are they trying to win now? You have $127 million in cap space. You have eight draft picks. You have a new head coach, not a rookie head coach, but a new head coach in your system. New general manager. I think you retained your defense of a coordinator, right? How are you trying to win now? I just don't see it. And Laura says priorities aren't in order in Las Vegas, and you're right, Laura. They are not. Their priorities are all screwed up, left and right. Mellow Mike is speaking the truth here. Mellow Mike is out there speaking straight facts. He says the Vegas Raiders aren't trying to win in 2025. They are tanking for Arch Manning in 2025. It's the tanking for Arch Manning tour of 25. Facts, baby. Facts. Let's go. Alpha Rob says Geno isn't beating none of those big dogs in the AFC quarterbacks. He is not. He couldn't do it in the NFC. Definitely not going to do it in the AFC either. RPG Projection said the Texans had a top 10 defense last season, and I agree. Drake managed to score 21 points on them despite insane pressure and lack of receivers. We will talk more about the Patriots tomorrow and the Texans. How about that? We'll talk more about those guys tomorrow. Mellow Mike says, play a game. Name a quarterback worse than Geno. Anthony Richardson, Jameis Winston, Will Levis, and Mason Rudolph. Yeah, that's about it. You could potentially put Russell Wilson up in there too. James Frank says that Geno and Bowers connection might be pretty good. It might be pretty good because that is going to be the only connection. Jacoby Myers had a great second half of the season, but we all know how second half of the season for the Raiders do. They don't correlate into the next season, i.e. 2023 win on Christmas Day. It did not translate over. 2 first-rounders for a man coming off a 7-sack season. Bro, you're crazy. Mellow Mike, Max Crosby had offers out there for 2 first-round picks and the third round pick. Max Crosby may have only had 7 sacks last season, but he was playing injured, broken ankle or something. He ultimately had surgery on that ankle. He missed the final 2 months of the season, 6 games of the season. So, as I said on many other players, somebody tried to tell me that Sauce Gardner wasn't a top cornerback in the NFL because he only had 2 interceptions in his whole career. Defensive stats lie to you. Defensive stats lie to you. You have to watch the game. You have to use your eye test. You have to understand how defenses work, how offense try to avoid those said defensive players. If I am playing against the Las Vegas Raiders and I see Max Crosby on the right side, and then I see who's the other defensive end, Malcolm Kunch on the other side, where am I running to? What side am I rolling to? Where am I going to attack? Opposite of Max Crosby. Let's just be honest. If I'm playing the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons, I'm going to run right at Micah. Max Crosby thrives off you running at him. Max Crosby thrives of you running at him, so that's why you got to avoid him, force him to chase you down and wear him out. That's when the sacks start to drop down. That's when the injuries start to pile up. And Max Crosby, I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan through and through. Chiefs are my team, right? Here's my Super Bowl champion hat. There's the back-to-back one. There's a just Chiefs flag. Like, I am a Chiefs fan. The great Patrick Mahomes is right there on the wall. I am a Chiefs fan through and through. Max Crosby is one of the best defensive ends in all of NFL football. Stop it. Stop it, man. Mellow Mike says, tip for your grass. Hit it with a Grand Loft shoe floor coming on and dormant. It may pop up. Mellow Mike, I might have to get with you, man. Hit me up on like X-Man. manhour_buck. Let's have a conversation because I need a little bit of help with my grass. It's nice and thick, but I just got those brown spots. It's pissing me off. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. Let's go on and move on to what is happening and potentially what's happening for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As you guys know, Aaron Rodgers has been the talk of the town for the Pittsburgh Steelers the last, week since the offseason. Let's just be flat out honest. But Aaron Rodgers did visit with the Pittsburgh Steelers for 6 hours last Friday. I do believe it has been a week now. But now, over the weekend, this past weekend, it was March 28th, 29th, 30th, right? DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers were spotted running routes and passing over this weekend at UCLA. The quote was, they're working on chemistry. Does this mean that Aaron Rodgers is coming to Pittsburgh? Does this mean that Aaron Rodgers coming to Pittsburgh is going to happen? It is set in stone, bada bing, bada boom. Slow it down, baby. Listen, nobody knows what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. If you think you know, or if someone says they know, let's just be honest, you do not know. They do not know. Mike Tomlin was very, very clear that the Pittsburgh Steelers, are in the dark on the whole Aaron Rodgers issue. They don't know. Now, as we do know that Aaron Rodgers and Pat McAfee are friends, we know that Aaron Rodgers has a weekly segment on the Pat McAfee show, and Pat McAfee show is doing a show in Pittsburgh in a few days, April 9th, I do believe. Now, will Aaron Rodgers rear his weary head and make it a guest appearance to announce that he is going to Pittsburgh on that show? I mean, granted, that would be the most LeBron James thing ever to do, but hey, it could happen, right? It could happen. But these are the facts that we do know, guys. The facts are that DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers did not fly out specially to meet one another. DK Metcalf has a house in LA. Aaron Rodgers has a house in LA. UCLA is in LA. People just need off-season work at the end of the day. Granted, it is pretty ironic that DK Metcalf is now a part of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Aaron Rodgers is linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, and we are making all the correlations, right? But Aaron Rodgers plants the seeds that he wants us to see. Aaron Rodgers is a very clever, thinking ahead, thinking out of the box type of mind. He is going to dab a little bit of seeds there. He is going to dabble a little bit of seeds there. And we is going to watch the media grow wild on it and intertwine. And then all of a sudden, poof, he is going to go take a quick left or a quick right. Laura, whether you want to admit it or not, still the best fit for Aaron Rodgers is Minnesota. Still the best fit for Aaron Rodgers is Minnesota. Let's just be flat out honest. But does this mean that Aaron Rodgers is coming to Pittsburgh, even though that him and DK Metcalf are playing catch at UCLA? No, it doesn't mean nothing. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean nothing. At the end of the day, I just see two professional athletes trying to hone their craft during this offseason. We see quarterbacks and receivers do this all the time from separate teams. Right? We've seen Coleman down there in Texas working out with Dak Prescott. Does that mean Coleman's going to Dallas or Dak's going to Buffalo? No. Just happens to be where they live, where they like to work out. That's what it is. So, guys, do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to Pittsburgh. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to go to Pittsburgh? I don't know. We'll see. Next up, what we got? The old Tush Push. The old pushy of the tushy. The old pushy of the tushy. Bills coach Sean McDermott has seconded the Tush Push band, as he did come out and say in his interview with the media today at the NFL owners meeting and NFL coaches meeting that there's no real data out there to support his banning of the Tush Push, but he brings up a great point. Force on force is a real thing. So guys, as we start to watch the Tush Push more and more and more, as more teams start to implement the Tush Push into their offensive scheme, should the Tush Push be banned? Should we kick the Tush Push to the curb? Every time we talk about the Tush Push, guys, it is on two other sides. Either you love it or you hate it. The NFL purists, I think, love it. They like the old school running up the middle, tough grit yards, whatever, right? The new school people are kind of like, yeah, you know what? Get out of here. I don't like it. It is not aesthetically pleasing to my eyes. It does not make me happy. Now, we do know that the NFL is all about player safety. From a receiver having to catch the ball, look at a defender, sign a release form, wait 3 to 4 business days before a defender can hit them, and if they don't make eye contact and like whisper sweet nothings, it is going to be a flag to taking away the kickoff, right? The old kickoff way. They took that away because too many of high-speed collisions. Now, the facts are, guys, that there has been no data leaking to the Tush Push and to major injuries. However, we have seen injuries from the Tush Push, most notably Tank Bell's broken leg a couple years ago. The facts is the way you stop the Tush Push is the defense of linemen got to get lower than the offense of linemen, therefore, a.k.a. diving at their ankles, and the linebackers jumping over the pile trying to make a stop. We need to get a 250-pound man jumping over a line to try to tackle somebody that is going to cause a lot of injuries. Broken arms, broken legs, concussions. We are going to start to see it. The data's not there, but we are going to start to see it. Now, we saw it last year. How did the Commanders attempt to stop the Tush Push? They dove at the ankles and they tried to judge or predict the snap count and jumping over the line of scrimmage. Wasn't it the playoff game where they said, if you do this again, we're going to call them an automatic touchdown or something? The point is that there is going to be a lot more injuries coming out of this. The point of the matter is that this is going to cause a lot more injuries, and the NFL needs to stop it. They need to ban the Tush Push. Now, for the people like, oh, you're just mad because the Philadelphia Eagles are excellent at it. No, I'm not mad at it. What I am mad about is that the offensive players can push other offensive players, but it's a 15-yard penalty if a defensive player pushes a defensive player into a tackle. If you make the rule the same on both sides, then I would be all for it. If you make the fighting field a level playing field, yeah, I'm all for it. But they need to just ban it, get it out, and it is what it is. Old Man River says they do not need to ban it. I love it. I like it. I want some more of it.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Old Man River, slow it down, baby. Mellow Mike says, I'm not a Philly fan, but damn, learn to stop it and stop crying. Mellow Mike, the way to stop this play is to do what the Washington Commanders did. Dive at the ankles of the lineman and have your linebackers try to time the snap and jump over it, right? Technically, if a defensive player touches somebody while jumping, that is a 15-yard penalty. If a lineman, defensive lineman, dives at a offensive lineman's knees, that is a 15-yard penalty. So the way to stop it technically is 15-yard penalty every time. Alfred says it's only 2 quarterbacks that do the tush push well. That's Hurts and Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts does it excellent, and Josh Allen is getting there. Except for they go right. Is it right or left? Every time. James Frank says, now every time I see it, I think of Luvu jumping the line trying to stop it. Yeah, I mean, what he did it 4 or 5 times in a row and jumped offsides three times. Like that's the way you're going to stop it. Real McCoy says keep the tush push. I think the tush push is safer than the old quarterback sneak. I don't see how it is safer. Now, technically, in theory, it is safer, right? Because you don't have, let's say, Derrick Henry running 5 yards behind the backfield straight down and a linebacker running 5 yards straight down, meeting at the middle 5 yards, potentially full speed. Yes, that is safer. But overall, like, what is eventually is going to happen. Josh Allen does this, right? He starts doing the tush push. Alpha Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, but they go right every time. What Josh Allen started to do later in the season when he would start to go right and then he would start to spin out, right? He would start to roll out of the actual tush push and then try to break a outside run. What is going to start to happen is that is going to start to happen more and more and more. And then we're going to see a safety, let's say Justin Reed, come flying up the side and smack Josh Allen in the mouth, or smack Jalen Hurts in the mouth, or better yet, take a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes and smack him in the mouth. Going to knock them out. They're going to get a 15-yard penalty, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, now you can't come off the line so hard. Like, there are going to be amendments to the tush push each and every week, right? Josh Allen going to the right, rolling out, right? We're going to see potentially CJ Stroud jump up there and like maybe try to, I don't know, hurdle. We're going to see variations of it. And a quarterback is going to get hurt, and we're going to be, oh, you can't do that no more. And it's going to be all controversy. It is going to be a big controversy until it is taken out, right? Mellow Mike says the Tank Dell injury happened in Denver, not Philly. There was no tush push involved. There was a tush push involved, right? It was the Houston Texans. They were at the half-yard line, 1 yard line, and CJ Stroud did the tush push. And Tank Dell, was it Tank Dell was blocking. He let the guy go, and he got rolled up into. It is what it is. And yes, Allen does always go right. Thank you for your clarification on that. All right, guys. Time for a little buy, a little bit of sell. Woo. Guys, buy or sell is very, very simple. Been scouring the old interwebs, see what the people are talking about, and we're going to determine if we like it, we want some more of it, or we're going to put it on this clearance rack and get it out of town. Guys, this is trade season, and this buy or sell is strictly about trades. Who won the trades? Who lost the trades? So let's start off at the top here. Let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kenny freaking Pickett at the end of the day. The only quarterback in the AFC North to have a Super Bowl ring, might add, starting quarterback. But guys, Kenny Pickett was traded to the Cleveland Browns this offseason for a 5th-round pick and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, a.k.a. DTR. So guys, buy or sell. Did the Cleveland Browns win this Kenny Pickett trade with the Philadelphia Eagles? Like I said, guys, Kenny Pickett is the only starting quarterback as of right now in the AFC North to have a Super Bowl ring. Lamar doesn't have one. Joe Burrow doesn't have one. And oh, by the way, half a head Mason Rudolph doesn't have one either. Right off the bat, the Browns have the best quarterback in the division. Sorry, I couldn't say that with a straight face, but I kid. But seriously, coming out of a winning culture like Kenny Pickett did, it brings you a little something into your new team. It brings you that validity. It brings you that spine. It brings you that little bit of swagger to your new team. Look what Sam Darnold did to the Minnesota Vikings. Look what Jared Goff did to the Detroit Lions, and the list goes on and on and on. When you have a little bit of success, whether it's getting a Super Bowl ring or just getting there, when you go to a new team, you have that little bit of like swag. But let's just be honest. The Cleveland Browns were never in love with DTR. They did not love Dorian Thompson Robinson like a lot of people did. They had some lust moments, especially in that preseason game, his rookie season, when Aaron Rodgers talked him up. Hey, this guy's going to be great. But since then, we have not seen a whole lot from DTR. We've seen subpar play at best from him. So, guys, buy or sell. Did the Browns win the trade for Kenny Pickett from the Philadelphia Eagles? And I have to buy this. The Cleveland Browns definitely won this trade. Not only do they have a quarterback now that has been on a winning team, that has a Super Bowl ring, and wants to be a starter in your city and hungry to be the starter, they got rid of a bust of a QB, along with a 5th-round pick. Let's just be honest. DTR was going to walk after this season and be labeled a bust and probably not even on an NFL team. You got rid of him. You got a potential starting quarterback in Kenny Pickett and a 5th-round pick. How is this not a win? Buy. So what do you guys think? Buy or sell? Did the Browns win this trade? Old Man Rivers is saying sell. Old Man Rivers says sell. The Eagles won the trade. They got DTR, baby. All right, man. Hey, you do you, boss. You do you. James Frank is our resident Cleveland Brown here. James says the Browns won that trade. DTR shouldn't be in the NFL. I agree. Now, I don't remember where DTR was drafted. Was like the 5th or 6th round or whatever. But how did the Browns not come out on like on top? Like, come on. It's clear as day. Next up are the old guys, buy or sell. Geno Smith trade. Geno Smith was traded to the Las Vegas Raiders this offseason for a 2025 3rd-round pick from the Seattle Seahawks. Guys, buy or sell? Did the Seahawks win this Geno Smith trade to the Las Vegas Raiders? This one is tough. Because I think equally both teams did very, very well on said trade. The Las Vegas Raiders needed a quarterback. Right out the bat, they needed that bridge gap guy. No matter what they do in the draft, they needed a quarterback. Gardner Minshew wasn't it. Let him walk, cut him, whatever. AOC has a lot of growing to do. And Carter Bradley, I know little to nothing about him at all. I had to Google him to even see what college he is, and it took me a long time to find his film. At the time of the trade, I was happy for the Seahawks. I was like, man, they are getting a 3rd-round pick. They signed Sam Darnold, a top 5 quarterback at the time, teaming up with DK Metcalf, Jaxson Smith, Najigba, MVS, Jack Bobo, Noah Fant. It seemed like a great thing happening in Seattle, but then the wheels fell off the wagon. Tyler Lockett got cut. DK Metcalf got traded. Now all of a sudden the wide receiver room looks pretty empty. Looks like they wanted Sam Darnold and the trade, but then Cooper Kupp came into town. Cooper Kupp came into town. Things seem a little bit better. Now on the Raiders side, they did get their bridge gap quarterback. If they think he's the actual bridge gap quarterback, is he a long-term answer? No. But in the process, they did lose a 3rd-round pick. With that being said, I want to say that they broke even. But there is no waffling around here on the Man Hour. It's either buy or sell. No down the line, baby. So I got to buy it. I think the Seattle Seahawks won this trade. Not only did they get a 3rd-round draft pick in this trade, they got their quarterback of the future. Sam Darnold is the quarterback of the future. Let's not forget that man's only 27 years old. There's a lot of life left on his career. But the third-round pick is huge that they got for Geno Smith. They can add wide receiver depth. They can add offensive line help, or you can even add potentially another running back as well. The running back depth is very, very good in this year's draft. Guys, I think the Seattle Seahawks won this trade for Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Old Man River says sell. The Las Vegas Raiders won it, baby. He said the Las Vegas Raiders got our quarterback. We got our future quarterback. We don't need no third-round draft pick because we got like 18 more of those things coming up in the next six years. We got $127 million in cap space. We go to Super Bowl, baby. Old Man River, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. James Frank says, man, this one is hard. I just can't buy on Sam Darnold, and I'd have to sell. And James, Old Man River, rest of the people in the chat that are saying sell, you guys are correct. I am buying this because I am basing off of Sam Darnold's last season. I'm buying that Sam Darnold was a top 5 quarterback in 2024. I'm buying that I think Sam Darnold should carry some of that momentum into Seattle. But now, if Sam Darnold is the complete bust, if Sam Darnold gets benched by week 7, obviously the Raiders would definitely win this at the end of the day. But only time will tell. Next up, guys, on the bold buy or sell. Seahawks are back in this again. Wide receiver DK Metcalf was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a second-round pick, and then instantly signed a 5-year, $150 million with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guys, DK Metcalf to the Pittsburgh Steelers, buy or sell. The Steelers won this trade. Guys, DK Metcalf is a pretty damn good receiver. I don't say people are pretty damn good very, very, very often, but DK Metcalf is a pretty damn good receiver. Every year of his career, not 5 out of 6, not 6 out of 10, not every 5. Every year of his NFL career, he has broke 900 yards each season. He has 48 touchdowns in 6 seasons at nearly 15 yards per catch over his career. Guys, the Steelers needed a receiver. They was very in on the Brandon Ayuk trade rumors last season. They actually had a deal in place, which he turned down. But the second-round draft pick is a huge price tag, not including the payday, which he just got for the 5 years, $150 million deal. But the Steelers would have now set the standard with George Pickens for next season when he's due for a contract. But second-round draft pick for DK Metcalf for a 7th-year receiver, that is still a pretty big price to pay. But if this is just for 2025, if we're not trying to look into the future saying this will do this, this, and this, and this, is strictly for this season, I would have to buy the Pittsburgh Steelers won this trade. DK Metcalf to the Pittsburgh Steelers is huge. Second-round draft pick, yeah, right? But long-term, if we're thinking long-term, 2016, 2017, 2028, 2029, 2030. That second-round draft pick that the Seattle Seahawks got for DK Metcalf could be franchise-changing. They could draft the receiver of the future. They could draft the quarterback of the future. They could do a lot of things with that second-round pick. Hell, they could trade it up and get into the first round. You never know. But buy or sell, guys, did the Pittsburgh Steelers win this trade? I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Old Man River says Sam Darnold just doesn't have the receiver. He has Jaxson Smith in the Jigba, baby. He is good. Flashback that Ohio State tape. Hell, flashback just a couple seasons ago. He's damn good. If Cooper Kupp can play 16 games, that receiver core got instantly better if Cooper Kupp hits 100%. And then they draft the receiver with that second overall pick. Whoop. Slow it down. Crew that he had in Minnesota. True. Minnesota Vikings do have arguably the best receiver core in the NFL. Real McCoy says Steelers need someone to throw him the ball. He'll have Kirk Cousins. He'll have Aaron Rodgers. He'll have Will Howard. He'll have somebody besides Mason Rudolph. He'll be just fine. If the Steelers get Will Howard, if the Pittsburgh Steelers get Will Howard with George Pickens, with Jalen Warren, with DK Metcalf, with that defense, ooh, Super Bowl, baby. Crafty and May says George Pickens sucks. He's pure trash. Oof. Slow it down, baby. Oh, Maru says I'm buying it. He says I'm buying it. Give you some DK Metcalf. Give you some Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. Listen, I love it. I love it. And James Frank says the Jigba is a dog. He is. The Jigba is about to go off, baby. The Jigba is about to go off, baby. All right, guys. So that is going to be it for today's show, guys. Thank you for joining us as always. We are live, raw, uncut, every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. You guys can find me on the old Twitter machine at manhour_buck, being a lot more active over there. We are part of the Believe Sports Network. We're live on Bally Sports starting April 15th. We're on Big X Sports Radio 96.1, live, raw, uncut, every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time down there as well, here in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Of course, you guys find us on youtube.com/manhour, facebook.com/manhour, and at Instagram as well. Until then, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL Talk. Let's go.